Hey everyone, welcome back to more Stranded. And we are going to step into level 8 for this part. And again, this music's from Castlevania 1. And again, if you actually know the name of the soundtrack, it will match the name of this fortress. So it's not called Fire Fortress for nothing. Although you're gonna see a lot of fire stuff in it anyway, so I guess that makes some sense in itself. Even the name of the soundtrack here matches the name of the fortress. Alright, so you want to start by going upward. Yeah, left was just a dead end. And you're going to be fighting a lot of fire gleeoks in this place. Although, luckily, I think most of them are... I guess you could say weaker. They're not like the normal strength of a fire gleeok, because I think normally they should do 1 heart of damage, but I don't think they do that. At least not most of them. Because remember, you have no mirror shield, right, to block fire. Now, if you fall down the holes, like from these cracked floors, most of them will take you to a room in the lower right corner of the map. So we'll be doing that later on. Let's get as much stuff as we can. Yeah, so keep going to the right. Yeah, you're gonna find a lot of fire souls in this place, not surprisingly. And now we have a 2-headed fire gleeok. Now, what's annoying about this room, if you notice these little flames here, they're kind of badly positioned because you can't hide in the corner now. So time for evasive maneuvers. Because normally you could hide in the corner and kind of be safe with the fire. Alright, so heading on to the right, another fire gleeok. Having the feather is such a great item. This is the next to best thing to dodging. Alright, this room, pretty much a key in plain sight, so we'll go scoop this up. And I guess I'll fall down just to show you. So pretty much most of these will take you to the lower right corner of the map. Now this is kind of a vague clue. But you're gonna need to be able to translate where to wait in this one. And it's just making your way back. All the way to the left to the start. Again, the feather kind of helps. I don't have to wait for that fire to go out. You just kind of jump over it. invisible piece in this room. I don't know how many bats are actually in this room, so I'm just gonna jump over, take out as many as I can. Alright, these full voices, yeah, you take them out with magic. But instead of wasting all your magic, you know, take out enough of them, and then you can kind of stun and take out the rest of them with your sword. Now, you want to just bomb to the left. There's nothing you can do in this room. Now this room can get a little bit hectic with all the fire Octoroks. Luckily, I think you can just go in and out of the rooms just to kind of reset their positions a little bit. Although if I get clocked, I'm not going to complain about that. Since you can't block that fire. Alright, you want to go up first. And again, you don't want to fall down the, you know, cracked floors here. So just kind of make your way across. And this is a very weird clue, but you want to just wait in this room. Instead of just rushing out of this room, it's like, oh, this is a useless hint, I'm just gonna leave this room. You actually want to stay in here for a little bit. And that actually can get a few people stuck because, you know, it's not intuitive to just wait in that room. You know, your first instinct is to just leave the room. Now, luckily I can reach that one in the corner. I thought I wouldn't be able to reach that one. They're invisible bats in this room. I kind of thought so because I didn't count 10 red bats. Alright, now that you got that key, now we can just pretty much backtrack to that room on the left side. The problem is, even with a blue magic ring, it still takes, I think, like 15 seconds to get back at the quarter. Actually, maybe long, well, 15 seconds per quarter. Wait, I think here it's just half jars. Because I think magic in general recovers slower than life. I mean, I don't know exactly how this was programmed. At least it's not as painful to just run into the direct fire. I mean, it's only the explosion that does the big damage. And you just get hit by its baseline fire attack, it doesn't do that much damage. Of course, never complete without your fire robes. Well, at least I'm getting lots of refills. And you want to make sure you have an extra key, because you're gonna need it. Yeah, invisible bats in this room. You gotta be getting sick and tired already, right? Again, it's not worth using your lens of truth in that room. You know, just kind of push through it with just hack and slash. Nothing in that room. Yeah, of course it's really dry. I don't even know how hot it is right now in outside. And the room's getting really dry as well. It's like after I talk for any amount of time, I'm like, my throat's so dry. Alright, so you don't want to go down yet. You actually want to go up first. And find another fire Gleeok. Now this room looks a little bit odd. A little bit of asymmetry because you're missing this corner. And then not intuitive what to use. I guess it doesn't really tell you. But I guess if you want to think about it, like you have 3 flames here, you want to put a 4th flame in the corner. And that gets you your fire boomerang. This is a really nice item to have, just in general. And an easy way back to the start is just to fall down here. Takes you back to the lower right corner. Okay, this time now we can go straight up. I mean, you could have gone here at the beginning, but you wouldn't have been able to do anything. Because to get rid of these flames, yeah, you need your fire boomerang. Yeah, that's how much those flames hurt, mind you. I'd rather get hit by just a spitting flame, because that's only, I think, half a heart. I don't think you want to go left yet. I think you go up first. It's a little bit of a problem, because I don't have sword beams here. Really hard to take without sword beams because it breathes fire too quickly, so you don't really get much of an opening to attack with. Luckily, again, I don't think it does as much damage as the baseline fire Gleeok, so I guess you can better tank it. And you want to get that key first. Actually, Fire Boomerang is very nice because it gives me a distance weapon I can use against these Fire Octoroks. Since it does White Sword damage. Assuming you hit it with the boomerang directly. Alright, head on to the right and find another lone Fire Gleeok. And here's your Mirror Shield. Very handy item. Alright, now if you head on to the left, you get a three-headed Fire Gleeok. And a nice little benefit, now you can spam from the doorway, because you can block the fire that, you know, the heads try to snipe you with. Alright, so after scooping up the boss key, now you have to try to figure out what that clue is about, like the dangerous room. And you might have already gotten an idea of where to search, actually. Might as well throw some magic out, make my life a little easier. But Fire Boomerang is a really nice item. That's a huge upgrade from the Magic Boomerang, because Magic Boomerang can't really damage much. You can stun some basic enemies, and basically only good for keys and all that. Maybe gels. But Fire Boomerang, White Sword damage, against most basic enemies, and it can actually stun almost anything. Now there's some enemies that are not affected by this, but most enemies can get stunned by the Fire Boomerang. Okay, now this room, you actually want to go into this room here, and yes, it is very dangerous because look at this, look what you have to do. I'm just gonna tough out and get the clock, because now it makes this room a whole lot easier. So you're supposed to wait in this room, because it's, you know, a lot of fire around, and yes, it's very dangerous with all these respawning Fire Octoroks. Although not really an issue if you get a clock. Otherwise, you'll probably be using, you know, sword beams, silver arrows, you know, anything you can do to one-hit KO those Fire Octoroks, just to basically, you know, have to stay in that room for like 20 seconds or something. And it takes you to where the boss is. And if you're running a little short on life, you have an actual recharge spot there. So that's very convenient for you. Now this is a 4-headed Fire Gleeok, and I think this is one that does baseline damage, so if you get hit by the fire, I think it's 1 heart. So if you can position yourself just right, you should be able to stay out of the range of the fire, like barely. Luckily the door doesn't close behind you, so you can, you know, if you get injured too much, you can just go back and recharge, actually. You know, give another shot at it. Just beware of the flying Gleeok heads, because those can still get you with its fire. Otherwise, that's not too difficult a battle. If you just try to go in and just tank it out, you may not do that well. Because this isn't... I don't think that this fire flood does like what, half a heart a hit or quarter heart or whatever the other weaker ones did. This one I think does full damage. So instead of spiked balls, they actually use fire, like is appropriate for this place. Alright, so that is all 8 Triforce pieces. Now I'm probably gonna have to grind for money because there's more stuff to buy and it costs a lot of money. I want you to note, if you go back in here after you get Mirror Shield, you get a direction of where to go. So you're gonna go back to the small island, and there is one place there that you couldn't do anything about until now. And the level 8 warp, I believe, is at the arrow shop. So not too far from level 8. Yeah, so I'm gonna go back in here again, just to... I'll do a round just to show you the... Basically getting lots of money in this place. But I'm not gonna grind all the way up to 999 on screen, because that's gonna take a while, unless I get tons of like 50 rupee drops or something. But at least I'll do one round just to show you. This is probably one of the better places to grind for cash. Because these Guineas don't really do that much damage to you, and you got plenty of grass to cut anyway if you need hearts, for whatever reason. Yeah, so if you're lucky, the money can really start pouring in. You get a bunch of 20s and 10s and all that. It actually doesn't take you that long to get up to 999 in this case. But it's gotta be like a chart or something with like, you know, how often they drop certain rupees. I mean, for the most part, you're gonna get 1s and 5s the most. I mean, you might get some number of 10s, and 20s and 50s are very rare. So just seeing how many rupees I get per round here. But it actually doesn't take as long as you think. Again, it depends what you get. If you get like a bunch of 1 rupees for these Guineas, yeah, it's gonna take a long time. But usually you can get like 1s, 5s, and there's a 50 right there. Look at that. 50 rupees for that one. So it really doesn't take that long to grind up 999 rupees. But again, I may not do this on camera, because you're gonna see me doing this for like probably 10 minutes or something. Because because I'm only halfway there, and pretty much I'm going to need to grind up to 999 rupees for this, so... so what I'm going to do is... grind up to 999 rupees off screen, and next part we're going to start off, I don't know where I start off. I don't know if I start off in the town, or if I'm going to start off at whatever baseline starting point. But I'm going to grind up to 999 rupees, and we will progress from there. Alright, see you guys later. Okay, I'm just gonna keep grinding for cash right now. It's gonna take a little while to do, but depending how many big rupee drops I get. I mean, at least it doesn't take that long. I mean, I think I still have a lot of rupee secrets, but kind of minuscule amounts of money. Probably just be speeding this up or something. Well, at least I'm getting at least 5, so that does add up over time, I suppose. Alright, take that 50 rupees. And watch the money rolling in now. Even cutting the grass to find loose change, I mean, that does add up. Oh, getting a good amount of money on this cycle. There's 20 right there. And pretty much completing our circuit. Pretty much everything's respawned at this point. Actually not taking as long as I thought to get money up here. Especially if the bigger drops are coming in your 20s and 50s and stuff. I'm pretty much about the cap right now. I know it's 50. Holy smokes. Already maxed out. I mean, that actually didn't even take that long because I got like a couple 20s, couple 50s. I think lots of 10s are dropping. Oh yeah, that's wasted money. Look at this. Look how much money you just wasted right there. Got a 50, another 10, and can't do anything about the money. It actually doesn't take that long to pile up 999 rupees. At least not as long as I would have thought. I mean, it kind of depends what you get for drops. In that case, I was just picking up lots of 5s and then start going up to the 10s and 20s. So up to 999 rupees now I can proceed onward.